This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang umaga, Bicolandia, and to all the Filipino Americans all over North America. Good afternoon, East Coast and Canada. Welcome to the show, and as a reminder to the viewers on Facebook, don't forget to hit the share button to share this video stream to your Facebook news feed and messenger friends. Last week on my debut on PHLV Radio, we talked about the healthcare system in the United States of this America and how expensive it is to be sick, as well as mental health and the need to know how to battle and overcome the challenges and stigma of mental health. So thank you, Silver State Health Services, for being on my show. This week, our Tuesday topic is Pursue Peace. Why is peace so elusive? So during the pandemic, the public work of one of the nation's most visible religious group organization, Jehovah's Witnesses, was on hiatus from public court witnessing, weekend meetings, and large conventions. So with us today, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Robert Hendricks, U.S Spokesperson for Jehovah's Witnesses. Mr. Hendricks, welcome to Ano Na Bev, Best Express Views on PHLV Radio.
Thank you very much for having me, Bev, and it's a privilege to be on your second show. Congratulations, by the way.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Hendricks. Jehovah's Witnesses are known for hosting huge conventions all over the world, and with more than 1.5 million publishers in the United States, why is the Jehovah's Witnesses convention still on remote now that the pandemic is on near endemic?
Well, you know, that's a really good question, because some may think that because we're at our in-person gatherings at our Kingdom Halls that we should be at our in-person conventions as well. But really, it's a different decision made at a different time. Our in-person conventions were suspended in April of 2020. And because it takes a long time for us to plan, execute, and then deliver the convention, it was best for us to go well in advance, to let everybody know well in advance that we would be having a virtual convention. So that decision was actually made late last year. And we realized what Omicron did in January and February. In fact, Omicron in some states here in the United States was a more deadly surge because of the numbers than even Delta. And so it was a wise move, and now we're ready to go back into our in-person conventions for 2023. But for this year, it's online, it's virtual, it's free, and it's in 500 languages. So it really couldn't be better for most of the world to be able to access it.
Okay, so Mr. Hendricks, for this year's convention of the Jehovah's Witnesses, why has your organization selected this theme?
You know, our themes for our conventions are always so timely. In fact, in 2020, the first year of the pandemic, we had no idea that we'd be facing a pandemic, but the theme was always rejoice, be joyful. Imagine that in the first few months of the pandemic, and it really helped us at that time. But who would have known that several years later, now 2 years later, we would be facing the most divided world that in my lifetime I've ever seen. Politics has divided families. It has divided communities. It has divided countries. We're more at war in many places than at peace, and many people long for peace. They want it, but they can't achieve it. Countries want it. Families want it. Communities want it. Cities want it. And so this Pursue Peace theme is as appropriate today as it's ever been, and we're so thankful to be able to have something that really can reach the world with a message that reaches the heart.
World peace has been the objective of countless organizations and governments worldwide, yet in a grand manner they still fail largely to make an apparent or significant advancement. Your thoughts on that?
There's no question that governments, peace organizations, well-meaning, noble people have been trying to achieve peace both on small scale and global scale since the beginning of governments, since the beginning of time, certainly in all of our lifetime, whether it's the United Nations or other organizations. But there's one difference between our message of peace and that of these organizations and people. Our message is built on one basic principle, that human organizations, irrespective of their nobility, they cannot achieve true global peace. That the only real answer to the world's problems when it comes to unity and peace is God's kingdom, his government under Jesus Christ. And so that's the way our message differs. And that message, that global peace that we hope to achieve through the kingdom is being achieved now individually, because that hope, the understanding of that hope, the understanding of what Christ requires, the Prince of Peace, can give us peace in our hearts and in our families and in our lives, despite the peace that doesn't exist around us, despite the division around us. And so that one basic principle really separates our message from really the message of every other global organization.
That makes your message more unique. So the third question is, why is peace more important now than ever?
You know, I think when you get right down to the person, more people are anxious than ever before. The pandemic changed us. You know, science and medicine says that the pandemic actually rewired our brains. We're more anxious. We're less peaceful, just individually. We see a lack of peace, division every single night on the news. If we have a steady diet of watching the news, it can raise our blood pressure. It can raise our awareness of all the divisions around us. And then there's families. Families have been divided on things like vaccines, masking, politics, religion, and it has become much more acute. And so we need this message now. We really need this message of peace. And the absence of peace is robbing us of the life we desire. Let me repeat that. The absence of peace is robbing each of us of the life we desire. We all agree on that one point. We want to be peaceful. We want to be at peace inside of our hearts. We want to be at peace with our family. We want to be at peace at work. We want to be at peace in our home. And so since that's the common denominator that binds us all together, it's the perfect theme. It's the perfect thing to be talking about right now.
But why is peace so elusive?
It's elusive because we have drawn farther and farther away from each other. It's elusive because we stopped focusing on where we agree, and we started to focus on all the things that we disagree on.
Okay.
And so when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, what we're trying to do is focus on where we agree. And where we agree is we need peace. We want peace. We want it for each individual, and we want it for our families, and we want it for this earth. We agree on that. Now, the question is, do we agree the source? And really, when you connect this with most Christian religions that have for centuries been praying the Lord's Prayer, the prayer that Jesus told us to pray in Matthew chapter 6, he said, pray this way, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, also on earth. That's what we're praying for. That's what we're working for. That's the whole basis of the theme of this convention, God's will being done on this earth. And we don't believe, based on what we see and based on what we've learned in the Bible, that his will is being done right now. We just don't believe that. We believe that it's yet to come under the kingdom of Christ.
Okay. So how can Bible principles help someone cultivate peace within their home and in the community?
That's a good question, because what we want is for the Bible to be practical to people, right? So many people have not looked at the Bible because they felt like it's a big book. It's difficult to understand. It can be overwhelming.
Yes.
But the basic principles of the Bible lead us to peace. I'll give you an example. If somebody read Jesus' most famous speech, we'll call it a sermon, the Sermon on the Mount, it's called, in Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And they followed, they meditated on each of those points, and they followed those things in their life. Then they would be at more peace. I mean, our convention, this 3-day event, which is just so powerful, it helps us to take these Bible principles and use them in our families, use them in our life. So as an example, on Friday morning, the Friday morning session has a beautiful example of a family, a blended family, a widow with 2 children who got together with somebody else who was a widow with 1 child. They married, they blended this family, like most families these days are blended. And it talked about how to follow the roadmap to family peace. That was the theme. By showing love and respect, by improving communication, by working as a team, and by worshiping together. And not only is it lecture-based, but it's also has these dramatizations of this family and how they struggled and how they made it work. And so it really, this convention really does take it down to the most practical level. How can you apply Bible principles in your life? And that's why this is such a powerful convention, because it's not just telling us what to do, it's showing us what to do, and we can put that into practice right away.
Okay. So why is cultivating peace worth the effort?
It's worth the effort because we, first of all, need to be peaceful within ourselves. I mean, I think people take a lot of pills for that, don't they? I mean, really, when you come to think about it, when you're anxious within yourself, the first thing you do is wonder, how can I calm myself down? Maybe I need some rest, but I can't sleep. Maybe I'm anxious. And so you go to the doctor, and many people take a pill for peace. But peace isn't about a pill. The peace that God gives through his Holy Spirit is something that takes our heart and really affects it in a very powerful way that overcomes all the divisions around us. And it's important, because if we're not at peace with ourselves, how can we be at peace with others? If we're not at peace with others, how can we be at peace with God? And so that's our main goal, to be at peace with our Father in the heavens, with his Son, Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, and to allow that peace to affect us inside and those around us. That's a great goal for all of us.
Yeah. So what are the resources available to people who want to pursue peace?
Well, first of all, this convention is free. So this convention, Pursue Peace, is free to anybody who wants it. It's got 6 installments that relate to half days, because we typically have a 3-day convention, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so that's available, and it's powerful. But also, if you go to jw.org, it's in more than 1,060 languages, and you put in the word peace, you'll find peace in the family, peace individually, peace with God. You'll find those resources on jw.org. You also can download JW Library on your Android system or iOS system. You can download JW Broadcasting on Roku or Apple TV. And in JW Library, we have 600,000 videos and audio publications and 200,000 written publications that allow you individually to focus on yourself and your needs. You're getting closer to God and improving your life. So really, it starts with jw.org and all the resources that surround it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, universal peace is sure to come. So for more information about Jehovah's Witnesses or to watch the Pursue Peace convention videos, you can visit www.jw.org. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Hendricks. Having you in the show is such an enlightenment. I am looking forward with hope to this genuine, absolute, and everlasting peace at last.
Thank you, Bev. Thanks for having me.
When we return, an extension of love leads to a true peace. One of them is the love of neighbor. We will talk about how to be a foster parent, the need to know how, and the common misconceptions of foster parenting. We will have a great dialogue with Fil-Am CEO, Mrs. Shirley Holdeman of Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care Services. On Ano Na Bev, we will be right back, so stay tuned.
I'm attorney Richard Harris. For me, it's all about winning for our clients. So our firm is donating backpacks full of supplies to 12,000 of the neediest students in the Clark County School District. We want these kids to be winners too.
Nung nakita ko yung sasakyan, totally wrecked siya. I called Richard Harris right away. From the very start until the end, we got all the help. Kay Richard Harris, tanggal ang worries.
The Richard Harris Law Firm, just in case.
There are children who've never had the experience of being a child. Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care serves underprivileged children.
We are known for exceptionally standard in delivering excellent services.
You can be a parent, make an impact on a child's life.
Welcome back to Ano Na Bev, Best Express Show. Today with us is the CEO of Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care, Mrs. Shirley Lim Holdeman. Yay! Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bev. Good morning to everybody, and thank you for inviting me to your show. Okay?
Ayan, di ba? Salamat, madam. So, who is Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care Agency?
Okay, Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care Agency is a foster agent that taking care of children that are being abandoned, neglected, and usually they're taken away from the home because of some reason. Okay, now the Bamboo will provide them housing, so the children will stay there temporarily. Some of them, they stay there until the age of 18. Some of them is as temporary. When the RTP, the termination right, has been revoked from the parents, then some of them, they put them for adoption, or some of them, they age out in the system.
What's the age system po ba?
Okay, the age is actually some of them like newly born baby.
Oh.
Yep. And then until the age of 21, it depends if, the judge will say, okay, you can stay in a foster. But when they turn 18, they call that IL, independent living. Still, the government will provide them, assistance and help them to get through until they'll be able to, to do it for themselves.
Okay. So, how hard is it po being a foster parent?
I would say I would not use the word hard. I would say challenging.
Yes.
Okay.
How challenging is it to become a foster parent?
Okay, challenging is a wide word, I would say. Okay, because the children they have different kinds of behavior, I would say. Challenge. Once the child is being removed from the home, as soon as the child been removed, they already been traumatized. So you are not really focusing in one particular behavior. There's so much of varieties of behavior. Okay, so being a foster parent, you should be ready. Be ready, because you'll be facing a lot of challenges that you. For myself, I would say, as long as you show them respect. Always respect the child and be firm with them and show them that you really care for them.
What are the qualifications po of being a foster parent?
Qualification for being a foster parent is, okay, as long as it doesn't matter whether, a single parent, husband and wife, different, sexes and stuff. And they should have at least a job if they have, because a foster parent, this kind of, to taking care of children, they have they call that reimbursement. It means to say that the reimbursement that you're going to get, it should be provided for the food, clothing, and shelter. So the one who's taking care, the one who's to be a foster parent, they should have enough. They should not be depending what the reimbursement. The reimbursement is just to help, not totally that, to support the family because of the reimbursement that they're getting from the,
From the government.
Child. Yes.
Okay. So ano ang dapat na malaman ng mga kababayan natin about foster parenting? Kasi there's a lot of misconceptions, diba? What is the need to know how to become a foster parent?
Okay, sabihin na lang natin, first and foremost, your desire. Okay? Don't look at for the sign of the dollars. It's the desire. The willingness that you're willing to take these children into your home. You should treat them like your own children. Don't separate with your own biological children. Show them love, okay? Show them care. So that's the key in there. Because as I said, children are very challenging. They will give you a tough time. They call that really, really, until they see that you really care for them. And they will go and they start loving you too.
So it's always a trust issue then between the foster parent and the child.
Correct. The trust and the respect and the love. That's the key.
So paano yun kapag if you already showed so much love, you were already attached with the child, and then they have to go back to their biological parents? How does that feel?
Of course, you feel sad with my experience.
What your personal experience?
Yeah, my personal experience is mahirap, but I have to be tough because there's still other children is coming to my house. Okay, it's very, very hard, but you must know how to handle it.
Okay.
Like if you have a problem, you should know how to handle it. The same thing with the kid, because of course I'm gonna say a lot. I'm gonna say I'm lying if I don't, feel care and love for my kid.
Yeah, you.
That's not true. I really do, of course. But I have to be strong to show them also because they're living your house. So being strong as a model for my children, they carry that with them.
Okay.
Okay, that's how I.
Talk about your success stories of your previous foster childs. They're now grown-ups. They now left your house. They're now on their own. Ano sila? Saan na sila ngayon? Where are they now?
They are everywhere. Some of them they're in the service. Some of them players. Some of them they're everywhere.
How does it feel when they return to you and they call you and they say, "Call you mama"?
Yes, they come. They knock at my door and I say, "Oh my God, oh mama, I'm here." And then the first thing they walk into my house. "Remember, mom, your children, your boys are giving you a hard time, but they love you so much." I said, "I know." And then they point that's my room. That's my room. So it's a good feeling. I would say I'm not as rewarding, but a good feeling that I helped some other kid, because I would say some of them you can help some other children, but some of them will really give you a hard time. But majority of them really they turn around, because there's so many cases like when you try to say education is very, very important. This is I always said to my kid, because I said education nobody can take away from you. I said asset like a house, because they asked me what is an asset. I said, for example, a house is an asset. They can take away from you, but your education nobody can take it. That's why I want you to really, really finish your college.
Ayan.
And they're so thankful. They say, "Mama, thank you. I know we gave you a hard time, but at least we learned something from you." Because this is what I said. If you're 70, if you're 14 years old, I cannot change you, okay, because you're there. But I can teach you the skill, so you'll be able to survive outside.
So now that they're big, they're adults na ngayon, how many children can you take care in? Is it in a month, in a year, in a span of a few days? Ano yun?
It depends. Now remember, I started 10 boys in my house.
Wow.
All
How
boys,
was
because
it?
Oh my God, it's really, really like, it's, how do you call it? It's a big challenge.
It's a
but
riot.
I love it.
You love the promotions and the everyday.
I love them. They're like, but as I said, they have, each and every one of them, they have different behavior issue, okay? But what I said, that you cannot talk among, what is your issue. So whatever you told me is confidential. So as I said, too many kid, because it's come and go.
Oh,
it's come and go. Sometimes kid will arrive in your house like 2 days, and then of course they need to reunify with the family. Unless they will be right, it takes a minute.
And it's okay to share your love and to make them feel that they are also loved, that there's a family for that you're willing to take care of them.
Correct.
Even if it's just temporary.
Yes, yes. As long as I said, for me, don't segregate them. Always embrace them as a part of the family. That's what I always do with my even my son. They don't introduce my kid as a foster brother, but a brother. Even me too, I always say that's my children.
Ayan, your children na
Yes.
talaga. Do you keep count of the children that come and go to your
I don't want to
house?
count.
Ayan.
Hindi ako magbibilang.
Hindi ka magbibilang, pero sobrang dami na yung natulungan mo.
Marami na ako
Marami na
natutulungan.
children.
Oo. Kasi sabi pa nga, hindi mo lahat mapiplease. Okay?
Okay.
Yung iba talaga, hindi mo papil. Pero yung iba, marami kang matutulungan.
There's a lot of laws kasi in the United States, especially when it comes to child abuse. Diba? Maraming, we're protected. They are protected with that,
Correct.
especially with the children's out
Correct.
there. With negligence and abuse. So ano ang dapat malaman ng mga kababayan natin that it's okay because there are rules and there are also qualifications na pwede kang maging foster parent. Tama ba?
Yeah. The first thing is, I would say, wag silang matakot.
Okay.
Okay? Wag silang matakot. Basta't wala silang ginagawang masama sa bata, wala dapat silang katakutan.
Correct.
Yan ang ano lang naman yan. Kasi usually tayo mga Pilipino, very, 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 very caring people, loving. Takot na takot sila. Huwag silang matakot. Basta't ginagawa nila ang dapat nilang gawin.
Ayan. And you've been doing this for how many years?
Many, many years, I would say.
2 decades.
Yeah.
Wow.
Many
Bamboo
years. Yeah.
Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care Services has been in the business for over 2 decades.
Now, I would say I opened my agency in 2011.
Oh, okay.
So it's only like 11 years.
11 years.
Okay.
At least it's still over a decade.
Yeah.
And it's still a testament that you do well on what you like to do and share your love with the other children out there. And so, imbitahan natin sila for anyone who's interested to become a foster parent. Call.
Yeah, please call 702-433-3038 or you can go to www.bamboosunrise.net.
Ayan, ladies and gentlemen, palakpakan.
Thank you.
Mrs. Shirley Lim Holdeman. Waray-waray man.
Ay, sinabi mo na waray-waray.
O yung mga nakikinig, yung mga manunood sa mga
Sige,
nanonood
kamo
sa Bisaya.
mga kababayan ko, mga waray-waray, adila ako sa, kung ruyag niyo mag-poster parents, adila ako, magahula ka mo, kay tatagan ko kasi mga suporta. Wara itong adila ako, wara problema kay, ang Bamboo is, sabihin pa natin, is a family home foster agency.
At
Okay?
true kapamilya. Yay!
Yeah.
Abangan natin sa susunod na naman ng Bev Best Express Views. See you again on Tuesday!
Thank you.
There were children who never had the support they needed. Open your home to a foster child.
We have a long-standing partnership with the community, families, children, and employees.
Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care. You can make a difference.
I'm attorney Richard Harris. For me, it's all about winning for our clients. So our firm is donating backpacks full of supplies to 12,000 of the neediest students in the Clark County School District. We want these kids to be winners too.
I'm a professional singer. That's how I support myself and my family. I'm a careful driver. The other car hit me. I ended up picking Richard Harris. Richard Harris is already an institution in Nevada. Dahil kay Richard Harris, tanggal ang worries.
Just like a friend from back home. This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.